and welcome. You're tuned into bnsn Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me Snehi Shah. And viewers, this is the show where we get answers for all your stock-related queries. You can write to us live on a WhatsApp number that will be flashing on your screen throughout the show. Tell us your name, the stock that you have invested in, and also tell us the time horizon you wish to stay invested, and we'll try to take as many queries as possible. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So, Snehi, it's been a decent start for the markets, and it's Nifty Bank that is outperforming Nifty 50, at least for now.
Absolutely, it's the day 2 where Nifty Bank is doing better than Nifty. You have Nifty that's currently very flat. It's struggling to hold on to the green right now because we did see a sharp dip coming in somewhere around 10:30, but now some recovery on that front. Nonetheless, we are under the 23,800 mark where we had started above that mark earlier in the trading session today. So Nifty under pressure. Sensex has already slipped into the red. A 0.1% cut coming in on that front. India VIX flat, not much to worry about. Nifty Bank, like Shrishti mentioned, 0.5% uptick coming in on Nifty Bank, so that's looking solid and steady today. And if you take a look at the broader markets, they are the ones that are largely outperforming the benchmark indices because you have the mid-cap space that's doing very well in today's trading session. Gains of more than 1% coming in, 1.3% rather. Nifty small cap also outperforming all of its other peer indices. It's up 2% in today's trading session. So the small cap index is looking very, very strong today. But it's not only the private banks, it's also the PSU banks that are shining very bright in today's trade, because for a second day in the row, Nifty PSU banks is your top sectoral gainer today. A 1.7% uptick coming in on Nifty PSU banks, followed by energy, metal, pharma, bank and IT. However, on the flip side, what's not doing well, Nifty FMCG continues to be the top sectoral loser for a second straight day, and you have Nifty Realty and Auto also that have slipped into the red right now. So largely mixed, but nonetheless, the banks are taking all the cheer on D Street today, looking very good coming in for both the private and PSU banks. Even from the PSUs, you have Union Bank, IOB, Central Bank, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda. All of these names are doing very well in today's trading session right now. So, well, the cheer is being held up by the banks, and that's looking very good for Nifty Bank. And overall, Nifty under slight pressure, but nonetheless, it's not much to worry about because we are still holding on to the green on the Nifty.
All right, that's the construct of the market right now. But with this, viewers, let's move on and let's start taking all your stock-related queries onto the show. We do have our guest, but before that, just a small note that you can write to us on the number that is on your screen, and throughout the show, you can see that number flashing on the top of your screen as well. Or rather, you can also connect with us on our social media handles of X as well as Facebook pages, and we'll try to take as many queries as possible. And today onto the show, we have two of our very special guests to guide you better. We do have Lancelot D'Souza, who is joining us on the show, and Himain Kaparia is also here with us. Hi Himain, I can see you on the screen. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for your time. A lot of queries have already started pouring in, Himain, so let's get straight to them. And the first query is coming in from OSN Reddy. He's holding Asian Paints, one of the result candidates. Mr. Reddy is holding 50 shares. Buy price is 2,842 rupees. What's your advice, Himain? It's been a bit of an underperformer. But do you see any signs of bottoming out in this one, and should he continue to hold on?
A very good morning to you, Shrishti. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. Well, yes and no. I totally take your point. I believe we are forming a bottom, Shrishti. 2200 is crucial. I don't think it gets breached in terms of closing. It does, then all the positivity goes out of the window. But I think 2200 should hold. Deeply oversold, a bounce is around the corner. I believe that a close about 2350 today, tomorrow, next week, I think is on the horizon. A bounce is underway. So it would be a sell on bounce because the long-term picture as far as Asian Paints has taken a hit. So I say there's going to be a recovery. It should be a sell on recovery.
Okay, Himain, thanks for that view coming in. This is Snehi also joining in, and the next query is coming in from our viewer Krishna from Chennai, writing to us that he holds 200 shares of Alembic Pharma at an average cost price of 158 rupees. Should he continue to hold, or would now be a good time to exit his entire holding in this stock?
A very good morning to Snehi. 866 is a very strong, important, crucial long-term support level. We're there, and we posted what? A low of 866.50 today and bounced back. So frankly speaking, as of now, it's a hold. This is maybe slightly a short-term view, but a fall seems to be exhausting itself. It is losing momentum. If 866 holds, there's a if, then it's a hold. A close below that should be a sell. A recovery till 930 is envisaged. And about 930, we could see another 50 points. So the bigger picture has taken a hit. So, but 1300 to 866 is a big fall or big recovery is underway. So I think you should wait a bit and then sell on that recovery.
All right, that's the take coming in on Alembic Pharma then. But moving on to the next stock, and this one is Tata Motors. This has been one of the key underperformers of late, and we are aware of the reasons, the kind of pressure that we have seen in JLR division. Other than that, their domestic business hasn't been doing that well. But in the con call, the company did manage to hold on to its guidance. So quite a mixed bag from Tata Motors this time around. But Hemant, the stock is seen to be flirting with that 700 odd level. And here is Gopal, who is holding the stock and having 18,000 rupees loss in this one. What to do with this one? Is that a hold or sell?
Okay, a little bit of advice. If it was a trading point of view, I believe a stop loss should have been activated. Having said that, I believe it's deeply oversold. Once again, a bottoming out process is underway. 685 is important. That doesn't get breached, and we close above 730. A bounce is around the corner. So, and there was a huge volume spike because of the results, and those levels have more or less held. The huge volume was almost 6 crore shares. I believe that selling climax is over at that point in time. A delayed recovery is underway. So hold with a stop loss of 685. I believe we should be seeing at least a 50-point rise, if not more.
So that's the outlook on Tata Motors coming in. But we also have Lancelot Dicuna, the Chief Investment Officer at Value X Wealth Connect LLP, joining us on the show on the technical front. Lancelot, you've joined us at a very correct time because the next viewer query is coming in on the technical charts only. This viewer is Shri, writing to us from Bangalore and wants a technical view on Dixon, where he holds 20 shares at 17,500, and Mascot Docs, where he holds 200 shares at 2,400 rupees per share. At this stage, he is asking if we should add more to average down the cost, and what are the short and the long term targets for both of these stocks, Dixon Tech as well as Mascot Docs.
Is this for me or for?
Yes, Lancelot, this is for you.
Okay. So basically, if you look at it from a fundamental perspective, I think Dixon Technology should do well going forward. There are significant amount of developments in the company in terms of new order flows, while margins during this last quarter were a little bit muted, and looks like the margins may continue to be in the low, 10%, 9-10% range. But because of the increase in volume and the additional capacities that are coming up in the hands of Dixon, you will see significant long-term growth. But from a price perspective, the stock has moved up considerably, over the last 1 year or even in the last 6 months. So you can use the decline in the price to accumulate the stock, since the long-term growth is definitely on the card. One can see consistency in growth for the next couple of years.
All right, that's the take coming in on Dixon Tech. The long-term growth looks intact, and one can look at to buy at dips for this particular counter. But for this, it's now time to slip into a very short break. Viewers, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now. Let's keep it going with all your stock-related queries. Then we do have Lancelot as well as Hemant with us. And the next query that I have is actually coming in on Polycab. Lancelot, if you can help Venu, who is a senior citizen writing to us from Chennai, wants your take on Polycab, that after the budget announcement specifically for 2025, do you like the stock, and how is the stock fundamentally as well? What's your take on this one?
Along with the slowdown in the economy in the last quarter, Polycab did see a bit of slowdown in its business offtake. But if you look at the longer term outlook, the growth story definitely is in for as far as the wires and cables industry is concerned, because you are going to see further, expansion as in the, people carrying out renovations, and even the real estate sector has picked up. So demand for cables and wires has improved. Plus, Polycab has expanded its capacity by additional plants, which gives it greater operating leverage. So, from a longer term perspective, yes, Polycab definitely looks as a good opportunity to buy. The stock is a little bit, valued higher than its multiple, but one can wait for a bit of declines, and at every decline, look at adding to the portfolio from a long term perspective.
Okay, that's the outlook on Polycab India. Moving on, Himen, coming to you, we have two queries rather. We have queries coming in on the same stock from two of our viewers. The stock in focus is NHPC. Is NHPC a good deal right now? Because our viewers are holding 2,270 shares and 1,500 shares each. Two viewers have written their queries. For one, the buy price are at 95 rupees, and for Tina, who's our other viewer, a price at 83 rupees. So we have our viewer Darasadhi from Vijayawada asking, should he add more because he's a long-term investor in NHPC, and Tina is asking, should she switch out of NHPC and move to REC right now? What's your outlook on both of these queries coming in for NHPC?
Sneh, I would suggest to hold, especially if the outlook is 2 years. I think one investor has already specified that that person is a long-term investor, so nothing to worry. And he was also querying whether he can add more. I think so. Once again, 2 years is your minimum investment horizon. And this goes for not only NHPC, but I think REC, PFC. Many of these PSU stocks which have had a phenomenal move and they've multiplied, they've walked into corrections of a greater degree. So there will be a long period of consolidation. That's what we are undergoing, and it's not over yet. So long term, it's a clear hold. You can add also. 2 year outlook is what you need to keep in mind.
All right, moving on to the next query. And B. Soumya wants to have your take on GMR Airports because she's been holding the stock from a price of 80 rupees and GNFC 2 from a price of 666 rupees. What's your take on both of these in the short term?
Okay, good news for her, Shrishti. Short term, GMR Airports has posted a bottom. There's a swing high at 77.50. That's where we can expect some resistance. I believe it will get overcome, and we're looking at a further upside. So short term bottom in place, a medium term recovery. One can expect 86 as far as GMR Airports is coming in, probably this month or maybe early next month, Shrishti.
Okay, Lancelot, coming to you. Next query coming in from a viewer Ramesh from Delhi asking if now is a good time to buy Kansai Nerolac for a time period of 2 years. What are you making of this stock?
I think, if one analyzes the paint industry, you are seeing considerable competitive intensity, and the three major players, which would be Berger, Kansai Nerolac, Asian Paints, are being threatened by a lot of new entrants. So margins as well as overall demand is going to be low. Margins are under pressure. So I think given the valuations are still on an elevated basis, maybe it's worthwhile staying away from these counters for a while. Maybe after 2 quarters, if the valuations drop and these stocks correct, maybe 10-15% further from here, then that would be a good opportunity to accumulate the stock.
All right, that's the take on Asian Paints. But the next query that I have is coming in on RBL Bank. Himen, what's your take on this one? Because Partha is holding 600 shares. Buy price is 47 rupees is what he has said. Okay, let me correct myself. RBL Bank buy price is 216 rupees, Himen. What's the medium term outlook on this one? And the other stock, Himen, is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank holding 2,000 shares. Buy price is close to 48 rupees.
Okay, Shashi, we'll start with RBL Bank. It's been an underperformer for quite some time. I just briefly tell you why I'm saying this. It peaked at a high of some 716 in June 19 or so. And since then, Bank Nifty, many of the, even PSU stocks, but many of the bank stocks have posted new highs. RBL has come nowhere close to it. So, rank underperformer. So, as of now, worst is over from a shorter term point of view. I believe a medium term base is being formed. The confirmation should come in on a weekly close above 180. So, as of now, hold. One can sell on a recovery. I don't know how much time it's going to take to come to its cost, convert into HDFC Bank if and when that happens. But as of now, hold. Worst is over. The other one is Ujjivan Small Finance Bank. Same story. Deeply oversold. Okay, I don't have very much of data. Okay, I've got 4 years of data, but probably would need more. But short term and in place bottom, medium term base formation happening, close above 40 should mean blue skies. Things are improving.
All right, but with this fears, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and we will take more of your stock-related queries on the other side.
Hi there, viewers, welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now. Thanks so much for staying tuned with us. We have Hemen as well as Lancelot also back with us. And Lancelot, coming to you, next query is coming in from our viewer Radhakrishna from Bangalore. They've bought 100 shares of Triveni Turbine at 750 rupees per share, asking if they can hold or sell, or now would be a good time to average these stocks, and the price and the time horizon that they have is for the next 1 year. What's your view on Triveni Turbine?
I think, the stock fundamentally is good. The valuations were a little high, it's trading at very high multiple, but which has seen some correction thereafter. And there is also this fear that in the budget, because of the reduction in the amount of capex that the government is planning to spend for the next 1 year, it could impact, the order flow for some of the capital good companies. However, if you look at Triveni Turbine's order book, they seem to have a fairly stable order book, and at least for the next year or so, they should see significant, traction and growth and in profitability. So I think at this point in time, one can look at, maybe averaging out a little bit if you're holding it, but you have to keep a 2 to 3 year time horizon, because these capital goods companies actually play out over a longer period of time. So as the orders get executed, profitability will improve, and thereafter you will see good growth going ahead.
Right, moving on, and Hemen, the next query that I have is coming in from Sunita from Vishakhapatnam. Wants your take on Ipca Labs. Her buy price is 1380 rupees at my profits in this one, but what to do next?
Well, it's entered a corrective phase, no doubt. The bigger picture is still about holding on to positivity. Firstly, hold, keep a stop loss of 1380. We are struggling to overcome 1480 in the near term. I believe we should be able to do that. Once it happens, we are looking at 1540 and 1590. So these are two levels where investor can use to exit, because this correction could take some time to play out. As of now, it's going to be a recovery, not a rally.
Okay, thanks for that view coming in. Lancelot, coming back to you once again. Our viewer Achar from Madurai, Tamil Nadu is writing to us, and he's asking when will RVNL reach 640? Rather, if both of you could weigh in and answer this, when is RVNL going to reach 640 on the charts? Fundamentally, how is RVNL looking like a company right now, Lancelot? And also asking about Cochin Shipyard. When's the visibility on the 2900 mark on Cochin Shipyard? Hemen, why don't you go first on the charts, and then Lancelot, you can give us a fundamental lowdown, pardon me, on both RVNL and Cochin Shipyard.
Goes from 34 to 640 in just 2.5 years. I think you need to give it some time to catch its breath. So I can tell the investor hold as of now. 640 is some time away. I'm not saying it's not coming, but if it multiplies like this, give it a year or a year and a half for a time price technical correction. Downside limited, 340 support, close above 500 should see further upside, but her 640 level isn't coming in a hurry, at least not for a quarter or two.
All right, Hemen, thank you so much for your take on this particular stock. But with this, Hemen and Lancelot would like to thank you for taking the time out and speaking with us and also helping our viewers on their stock-related queries. Thanks so much for that.